we go.
Welcome back, my friends, to the ELF Live Show. I'm your co-host, Silas Nasita, with my co-host, Nick, a.k.a. Nauf Alfieri. I'm in Houston, Texas. I don't know where Nick is. He's probably somewhere in Germany, comparing Germany and the United States. What's up, Nick?
You know how it is. What's up, man? Hey, what are you doing in Houston right now?
Man, I'm just coming down, get away from Waco, taking a little break from work.
Okay.
And now I'm working here on my break from work.
Yeah, we got you working here today. Well, we're going to put you to work because we got a really good show. People in the chat, come on in here and join us on another great episode of ELF Live. We got some good stuff today, Silas. I'm excited to talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to the season, man.
I was here an hour ago, just sitting in the chat room by myself, waiting for you because it's daylight savings. I forgot about daylight savings. You guys don't do daylight savings over there in Europe.
Oh, no. European daylight savings happens like a little while later. I don't know when. I was confused too. I got confused the other week, or this week too. I thought it was daylight savings.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. That's a really interesting thought. If for anybody in the chat who knows, because didn't Benjamin Franklin invent daylight savings?
Hey, we can go. I mean, I can go down a whole rabbit hole here.
Did he?
Some people are very anti-daylight savings. This is a very controversial topic.
I actually never thought about it. They said they do daylight savings in Europe.
They do. Someone DM just said end of March it happens. So we'll be catching up to you guys in a little bit. So there we go. End of March, and then we'll be on the same timeline once again. Gotcha. Everybody in the chat, what is up? Thank you for joining us. Marcus got tickets to the Nuremberg game on the 22nd for your birthday. My wife is good job, Marcus's wife. So guys, let's hop in, Silas. Let's hop into the news that we've got around the ELF right now, and we got a lot of stadium stuff going on. Let's see, we got a nice little stadium graphic. All right, look at those. All these big stadiums that teams are going to be playing in this year. What do you think?
Do you get tired of talking about stadiums every week?
You know what? I'm actually a huge fan of stadiums. When I was little, I would build stadiums out of Legos and like design them. So this is actually one of my favorite topics. Bet you didn't think that was the answer.
Nerd
alert.
That is actually hilarious, bro. I could totally see little Nauf building a stadium.
Yeah, bro. So I was really pumped about stadiums. We got what do we got here? Up at the top right, we've got the Generali Arena in Vienna. Awesome one. What else do we recognize? The middle one, we've got the stadium up in Hamburg that packed out, the one that Rhein Fire and the Hamburg Sea Devils played last year. Bottom right, Silas, Cologne is going to be playing 4 games in that yellow stadium, Tivoli. You get a little bit of good news for Cologne, right? I mean, not too much positive stuff happening there, right?
Whoa. Chill out, bro. That's my job. What are you doing?
I was trying to lob it up for you, bro.
That's my job. What are you doing?
Sorry. I'll leave it to you.
No, I think it's important to talk about it because, I mean, that's what we're trying to do with this league, right? Operation infiltrate soccer in Europe and take it over. That's the whole point. We're just trying to take it over.
Absolutely.
And so if we can get into their stadiums, that's step 1. And then step 2 is filling them up, which that will be, I mean, first step to get more fans is get into the bigger arenas. The tough part is because the arenas are bigger, it will feel less packed. However, I think here's my prediction. Prediction is that the fan attendance skyrockets, but the games won't feel like it. And then as the builds, once those stadiums start to get packed, dang, bro, that's when this league in this sport is just going to take off.
Absolutely. That's sort of like if you build it, they will come. So actually we've got here, let's take a look at the stadium situation for a team near and dear to my heart, the Stuttgart Surge. So they have got a situation. They're going to be playing home games at 3 different stadiums. Big news. They announced that they're going to play their home game against the Munich Ravens at the Pre-Zero Arena in Sinsheim, Germany, which holds 30,000 people. You guys already know, like they already know that the other game, Munich versus Stuttgart, is going to be played at a big arena in Nuremberg, Silas. So both Munich Surge games are going to be played at big arenas.
Yeah, that's. I say it again. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it as long as I am doing hosting. I'm jealous because, and I guess this is how it always goes. Things get better as time goes on. So, the chances. I mean, you got to play in maybe one big stadium for the German Bowl.
Yeah, we got to play in the one in Frankfurt a couple times. One of those, it was pretty packed. After COVID, it sort of trickled down and was not very good. But yeah, cool nonetheless.
But we're starting to see this more and more, and that's just such a cool opportunity for these teams. And so Stuttgart's jumping on the bandwagon. Hamburg Sea Devils, I feel like they're the ones who kind of started this big stadium business, and here's some of their big games. Week 2 versus the Paris Musketeers will be in Wohn Invest. Does that mean Life Invest?
Live Invest.
Live Invest. Weserstadion. 42,000. Week 8, obviously, versus the Rheinfire. Again in the Volksparkstadion. And then week 10 and 13 are both going to be in Heinz von Heiden Arena with almost 50,000 capacity for those. Question: what's your prediction? Which game has more fans? Rheinfire versus Sea Devils, or Sea Devils versus Galaxy?
Ooh, that's tough, man. That's tough because last year, obviously, the Rheinfire Sea Devils one was packed out, and I think they're going to try and replicate that. But the Frankfurt Galaxy also have a crazy fan base in a lot. I think it could be close. I'm going to go with the Rheinfire just because I know, we know the numbers that they've got. But that's pretty legit for Hamburg to be having all these games. They have the opportunity to have multiple games this year, like that one really special one last year. And that's just, hey, every year increasing it, maybe a couple more games like that. And that's just fantastic for Hamburg, a team that's maybe a little bit slept on coming into 2024. We'll see. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. We've also got the Panthers. They're going to be playing at a big stadium, the Tarczynski Arena. Wow. Now, way to go with that pronunciation. That was pretty good, wasn't it, man?
Not at all.
Tarczynski. 42,000 for week 1 against the Berlin Thunder. A nice matchup in the East there. This will be the first time that the Panthers are playing in a really big stadium like this. I'm curious to see what kind of attendance they get, because I just keep hearing great things, Silas, about the Panthers organization. Like, they're really on the come up and everyone's really excited about that. How many people are they going to pull at when they have a big stadium like this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think if I could catch, if I could only catch one game, obviously I'm going to be at probably a few games this year, but if I could catch only one game, I might have to go with the Panthers, man, because I've never been to Poland. I really want to see what the Polish people are like, and then I just want to get to see in person how the Polish players play. Say that 5 fast.
Polish players play. The Polish players play.
I want to see in person how the Polish players play.
There we go. Yeah, dude, I agree 100%. I think that would be a really cool one to go to. It's just cool. More and more teams getting these big stadiums. We've also got the Cologne Centurions, like we talked about. They're hitting 4 home games at the Tivoli Stadium in Aachen, Germany. So they'll have 4 home games at that. Some good news coming out of Cologne. And then we talked about it, the Munich Ravens playing the Stuttgart Surge. Max Morlock Stadion. That's just some guy's name. He has a stadium named after him. It's like having it be Silas Nacita Stadium.
Yeah.
Congrats to Max Morlock.
Yeah, seriously. That sounds that's gonna be a fun one. I'd like to go to that one too. There's a lot. That one's actually in Nuremberg though. That's not in Munich, which is 30-ish minutes.
Yeah, right? It's a little bit I think north, if my geography serves me correctly.
Fun fact, Nick,
yeah. Give me
my first football game in Europe of my entire career took place in Nuremberg.
I remember you made a YouTube video about it. I know. I remember.
It was big field. I forget what that's called, but it's the field like
Zeppelin maybe fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember Hitler had his like big rallies there, fit like 1 million people. And that was like my welcome to Germany moment.
Nice blend of sport and history and culture right there. That's like a real welcome to the GFL moment. But
that's the best welcome to GFL.
There we've got so in Nuremberg is where the Surge and Munich will play. I mean, we talked about it a bunch. That's going to be a awesome rivalry that's building up, and it's just cool that both of the matchups between these teams this year are going to be at these big stadiums, and who knows how many fans they're able to pull. Then we've got the Vienna Vikings. They're going to play at least one game here at the Generali Arena in Vienna. This is where the Surge and the Vikings actually played the semifinal game last year, and I got to go to that. I was like, this stadium is awesome. This is perfect for an ELF team. So hopefully they get maybe more than one game there, because it's a fantastic stadium. It's not too big. You see 17,600 is the capacity size, which is like kind of that's a range right there, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the perfect size right now. That if we could get into a bunch of stadiums that have about 15 to 20,000 and we could fill those up, and that would be really nice.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was thinking about in the chat reminded me, Mike Matias over in the chat said, where will Madrid play? Anything other than El Bernabeu is unacceptable. I haven't heard anything about any of the Spanish teams playing in big stadiums, and my guess is that this is just a hypothesis. I have no idea, but the Spanish teams there isn't as much money in the Spanish leagues yet, at least from back in the day. The teams in Germany and Austria and kind of that middle area had a lot more money to invest in those stadiums. So I wonder if that's the case, or if they just haven't got around to it. I'd be curious to see where they would play. Could you imagine playing like FC Barcelona?
That would be crazy. Maybe if the Barcelona and Madrid rivalry builds itself up. I mean, look at it. Like Munich and Surge are in their basically second year of this rivalry. Maybe, who knows, the following year down in Spain, they've got a big rivalry that they want to go play in one of these big stadiums. So that would be awesome, man.
That would be incredible.
Then we've got, somebody in the chat said, Uncle Charlie, Raiders have the perfect fit stadium. Yes, they do. Absolutely. The Tiroli Stadium down there in Innsbruck, Austria. That is a great stadium for European football. But we do have to move on. I could talk about stadiums all day. Like I said, but don't get me started on stadiums. I'll keep going. We've got to move on to our signing center chat.
But you didn't even mention the
which one?
International game in Croatia.
Oh yeah. Hey, we've got the international. Mention it. So give us the mention.
I'll mention it. This is the game I'm most excited about attending. If you and I are in attendance, because I just went to Croatia for the first time, and Croatia is slept on in terms of just like beauty, travel, destination. I'm assuming this game. I don't know. I'd have to check my geography, but this game might not be too far from the beach. And I'd love to see just what the Croatians think about football. I'd love to go and just walk around and with a mic, me and you walk around and just interview Croatians and ask them what they know about football, see if they can throw a football. That would be fun.
Hey, there's some ELF content that needs to be produced this year. Did you see, Sas? I know we got to move on. I'm sorry, but we got to move on. But did you see the video on social media this week of just all of the European cities intercut with ELF football? That got me so hyped, man.
That is hype. That's hype.
All right. Well, our director Maxie is getting on us to move on. We got to move on through our schedule here, and we are going to hop into the signing center, right, Maxie? Not the yeah, we go signing center. Silas, will you start us off with the first big signing?
Absolutely, dude. This is a big one. Jordan Heath signing with the Paris Musketeers. Now, for those watching, and I had the exact same reaction. You look at that picture right there, and you think, that dude grew up in Crenshaw, California. Like, look at him. And he played for UCLA. Boom. Sweden. Bet you weren't expecting that. Jordan Heath is going to be a import for the Paris Musketeers, which is a huge signing, huge, because played in the U.S., like lots of U.S. experience, played at Notre Dame, UCLA, Kansas City Chiefs, played in the CFL for a little bit, was a overall fifth round pick for the 2022 CFL draft. And this guy is going to be in Paris next season, and he's going to be dangerous. Imagine this guy. Imagine seeing this guy right across from you, and then also knowing that there's a couple more like him on defense. That's a huge, huge signing,
dude. Paris is really they're taking this seriously. They're going all out. And the thing is, so this is probably one of the best E linebackers you can get, Jordan Heath here. And they've also got Paris Dawson Dales, one of only 3 American linebackers in the ELF. It's just him, AJ Wentland, and Zach Blair. So him playing next to Dawson Dales, that's an elite linebacker room for European League of Football. I'm really excited to see 2 great linebackers playing next to each other. So that's a fantastic one. And then we've got another big signing out of Southwest Germany. The Stuttgart Surge signed Christian Tutt, the DB from Auburn. This guy is pretty legit, man. I had to make a highlight, like kind of a Instagram reel to announce the signing. And so I was watching all of his highlights this week from Auburn, and he's pretty damn legit, man. He's can kind of play all over the defensive backfield and is exactly what the Surge are looking for. Is kind of like a true corner. I think he was a 4-star out of high school, which if you're from the States, you know, that's a pretty legit ranking right there. So Christian Tutt will be the second A in the defensive backfield for the Surge, along with Mitch Fettig. Those 2 guys together in tandem, it's a pretty elite defensive backfield for the Surge.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to the Sea Devils, staying with the defense, we got Simon Plata, originally from Germany. Last year played with the Potsdam Royals. 74 total tackles. So this guy's running all over the field. He's a playmaker. That'll be a big E signing, right? That's an E signing for the. Oh wait, no. That's a homegrown. So
he'll be a homegrown, man. Yeah, he'll be a homegrown.
Yeah.
Silas, tell me what you think of this. So he was probably one of the better linebackers in the GFL last year, and he won the German Bowl with the Potsdam Royals. And now he's taken the leap to the ELF. Now, back when you and I played, the GFL was like the top of the top. But now there's kind of this analogy that's going thrown around. Like the GFL is sort of like developing into the college football system, and the ELF is the NFL system. And it's like when guys like Plata have a great year in the GFL, they get noticed and they get plucked up and get a contract and get signed with an ELF team. What are your thoughts on that analogy?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. And I also think that it can go both ways. I think players that don't necessarily perform, or they just are not getting the shot anymore in the ELF, will hop down to the GFL and might give them an opportunity. Like, I don't know, you probably know better than I do because you talked to him, but Connor Miller going from the ELF to the GFL, signing with the Unicorns. At this point, it's interesting, but the Unicorns would have been a top signing and top league in Germany for the longest time. Now it seems more of a step down with almost the hope of getting back to the league.
Yeah, I think, absolutely, man. With Connor's situation, because actually we did a podcast last week, and he told me he did have interest still and opportunities to play with a couple different ELF teams. But ultimately what he wanted after kind of like the situation in Barcelona last year, so he kind of wanted a lot of stability and like kind of a fun experience here. And so I think this was kind of the perfect fit for him. But it's exactly what you said, man. It's kind of can go both ways. So it's interesting to see how the football situation in Europe has developed and kind of what the ELF has become. It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
And then what do we got? Some people in the chat, just shots. Isn't it true that some GFL teams even pay more than ELF because there is no cap? That's interesting. I actually don't know. Silas, do you know about that?
Maybe. Like, I think maybe that's the case, but at least from my experience and from talking to other people, the ELF has has been on a standard, like I think across the board, almost the highest of every country that you would play in if you were just in that league. For example, like I think that like the highest someone would get in the GFL when I was playing was like, I don't know, 2,000, 2,500 euros a month. And from what I understand, that's pretty standard across the board for like a normal import. 2,500 a month for in the GFL would have been like for like a quarterback player that has been like dominating, winning. Like I could think of like a Casey Terrill type situation. But that's like, I think on average, ELF is paying more than the GFL for sure. That's like, there's no question about that.
Yep. And so that's there we go. And that's a great signing for the Hamburg Sea Devils, a team that Silas has not been your favorite, but hey, they're moving in the right direction. Now we've got our final one for the signing center this week, moving south to Austria. The Tyrol Raiders signed American DB Farad McCombs. Now, this guy played Division I AA FCS football at Columbia University. Columbia is an Ivy League college. This is an elite university, one of the better universities in the States. So you know that this dude obviously is an athlete and a great football player. He's probably smart as hell, too, to be able to get into Columbia. Even when you're playing football at these schools, you have to have pretty solid test scores and GPA, and he's probably a pretty smart guy. And so the Tyrol Raiders are going to be bolstering their defense with a intelligent athlete, I'm guessing. What do you think about that, Silas?
I mean, I agree. So I played Ivy League as well my freshman year. I played at Cornell, played against Columbia.
Yep.
And part of the reason that Ivy League schools aren't that good at football is because you actually have to be really smart and have really high scores to get into the school, which takes a huge pull of players away from the recruitment process. So,
yep.
No doubt a baller, but definitely a smart player. And I think he's the type of player that could do really well in Europe.
Exactly. I think that's kind of the perfect situation. Perfect situation. Do you see what Maxie just wrote here? Guys, we get like on screen messages from our director Maxie, and he just called outside and said, "Did Silas just call himself really smart because he played at Cornell?" The answer is yes.
Yes,
intelligent.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks for setting up that lob to let everybody know.
Boom.
Maxie. Appreciate that.
Smart guy, Silas, the smart guy. There we go. So that's our signing center this week. And always exciting to see who's coming to join the European League of Football. Moving on, we've got a segment, chats. We've got a segment that you guys liked previously. It is called Truth or BS, and it is powered by the partner of the show, Euronics. So, guys, chat, you guys can participate. You can vote with the link in the chat. You can also type your answer in the chat. Now, if you just tell us, is this the truth or is this BS? First one we've got. Paris Musketeers quarterback Zach Edwards leads the league in all-time passing yards. Is this the truth or is it BS? Silas and chat, what do you think?
I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna let the chat vote before I give my answer because I'm obviously right. So go ahead and click the link, vote here. After you vote, if you think it's BS, comment who you think the all-time passing leader is.
True. Right now we're at a 60% for BS, 50-50 now. It's neck and neck. Daniel says BS. Athletes Forum, Jamal, he says true. DM says true. Just Shots true. Balu true. And then Marcus took a shot at the intelligence of our host by saying there's a difference between book smart and street smart.
There is. No, I 100% agree with it, and I have both.
There we go. Okay, there we go. That's how we got this job. Yeah, all right, I'm going to say that this is true.
I'm also going to say this is true. I think people are going to say they're going to think it's my boy Jadrian, but Jadrian hasn't played in the league every year, all the seasons. Zach Edwards has played every season of the league, I think.
Okay, let's lock in. We're true. 64% of you guys say true. And what is the answer, Maxie? Boom, true. Told you guys he went to Cornell, Ivy League. Okay, do not question Silas's intelligence. Again, Marcus, we see you in the chat.
I got you,
bro. Hey, I got your back, Silas. Okay.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
Okay. And just fun fact,
I'm coming for you.
I was recruited by Cornell back in the day, and ultimately they didn't want me. So I was not smart enough to go to Cornell. So sad fact there. All right. So here's what we got. He leads the ELF with 8,935 all-time passing yards, almost 2,000 more yards than the second-ranked quarterback who Silas mentioned, Jadrian Clark. Pretty damn legit. Zach Edwards. That's why he's got the nickname Magic Zach. All right. Next one on Truth or BS. Silas, we can take turns reading them.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle Kitchens already recorded 100 tackles for loss in his 33 career ELF games.
Ooh.
I'm going to say BS.
I know. This one's setting you up to fail because, I mean, what is that? That's an average of 3.3 TFLs per game. Now, I have seen some games where he's had like 7 TFLs, I think. He's been.
I'm going to say true. I'm going to say true. Switch mine, Maxie. Switch it.
So I was going true.
I was thinking sacks.
Oh, sacks. Yeah, no, that would be crazy. But I think just TFLs in general, which includes sacks. Most of you guys are saying BS. Silas says true. I think it's close. I'm going to say BS as well. I'm going with the popular vote here.
Are you going to say like 90?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like 94 or something. All right. Most of us are saying BS.
If you're watching, Kyle, I'm the only one who has your back.
That's true, man. That's true. If Kyle's seeing this, yeah, you're supporting him. What do we got, Maxie? 85% say BS. It's BS, man. Hey, Silas, what? Cornell, I thought.
70. Okay.
Put that Ivy League brain to, what is it? 75. That's still pretty good. I did think it would be a little bit higher. I thought it would be like in the 90s. He just puts up ridiculous numbers, though.
I should have went with my gut.
Hey, that's all right. Well, there's always next time. Let's see what we got.
There you go.
2 kickers share the record for the longest field goal in ELF history, 59 yards. Is this true or is this BS? Oh.
I think it's BS.
Damn, man. You know what? We don't give enough respect to kickers because I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I should probably know this. Your kickers really, man.
I thought it was like 57. Also, that's like a really high or long field goal. That's impressive.
Yeah, but this is the European League of Football, Silas. A lot of these guys have soccer backgrounds with all this. People in Europe love kicking. People in Europe love to kick. And so there's actually really legit kickers out here. I'm saying true. I don't know the names of the 2 guys who got it, but give me true, Maxie. Chat, we're tied 3-3 at true and BS. Silas says BS. Just one says just shots. Okay. Maxie, what do we got?
Dang, bro.
True. There we go. I'm on a roll. Cornell.
Are you 3 for 3?
I am 3 for 3, man. Look at my ego is just inflating as this goes on. I'm just dominating truth or BS.
Go to the next one.
Oh, we got a shout out real quick. Philip Frizz Anderson and the Rhine Fire kicker Sebastian van Santen. I mean, and Silas, like we talked about, like Europeans and those are super European names right there. Fits perfectly. All right. What do we got next, Silas? Oh, whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Hey.
Euronics has over 11,000 stores in 30 European countries. I'm going to say true.
Dude, 11,000 stores?
That's actually insane.
All right, hold on. All right, let's say there's like more or less like 30 or so.
But okay, think about this though. If I'm Euronics, I'm sponsoring this show. This is my show. Why would I undersell myself like
True,
that?
true. That's good logic. Because they would just
and it's anything over. So they're not going to be like, oh no, it's 12. They have actually more than 12,000. It's like, well, over 11,000 is still over 12,000.
True. Also, yeah, because 11,000 is like random anyway. I'm going true as well, based on Silas's very smart logic. And in the chat, you guys say subtle flex by Euronics. That's a good amount. We got true. You guys.
So I need to go to one of those 11,000 stores.
Hey man, yeah. There's what do we got, Maxie?
Give me the true.
True. Let's go. That's a good ad right there by Euronics. Look at that.
Big time. How many exactly? Do we know how many exactly? Hell, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say 11,378. 11,378.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go 11,142. Maxie, what do we got? Tell me you got. Oh, you don't even have the exact number.
I'm Googling it.
Okay. While Silas is Googling it, I will read us the next one, guys. Former Centurions running back Madre London rushed for more yards in his one ELF season than Rhine Fire running back Glenn Kunga has to date. Whoa. That is. Whoa. No. Oh, man. BS, but I think it might be close. He did have an insane year. He
rushed for 2,200, and that's false because if that's true, then Glenn, when Glenn was playing against us in the against the guards,
yeah,
I think that's when he broke the all-time record.
Okay.
So this is BS.
All right. Yep. I said BS as well.
Also, the last one was actually kind of wrong too, because I just Googled it and they're actually in 31 countries, not 30.
Oh, wait, even more promotion right there. There we go. We both say BS. And in the chat, I can't read the name. Leok said Madre only had 10 regular season games. It's impressive. So what do we got, Maxie? Is this true or is this BS?
It's BS. Yeah.
BS. Tell us the real story. What do we got? Give us the info, please. Tunga is 23.94 in 20. Damn. I mean, that's impressive, though. That's 9 games. Jeez.
Yeah, dude, that boy went off.
He went.
Granted, wasn't that 2021?
I think so. That was the first year. So it was
2021. I feel like that don't count, bro. The league back in 2020, league back in 2021 was way weaker than it is today. Way weaker. It was like almost like GFL level. I think the GFL in 2021 was probably more competitive than the ELF in 2021.
It's a good point. Like the ELF has gotten much better every single year, obviously with 2024 shaping up to be the best one yet. So it is a good point. So what Glenn is doing nowadays as the league is the prominent league in Europe is very impressive. But yeah, BS. There we go. I think we got one more on truth or BS before a very special interview. Thunder wide receiver Robin Wilczek. I can never pronounce his name properly. Has the most all-time receiving yards by a homegrown player in ELF history. Ooh, who else would it be? It would be between him and, man, there's a couple. Geyer.
I'm going to go true.
Mahongu did not count as a homegrown. He will count this year as he goes back to Paris, so he doesn't count. You're going true? I'm going true as well. I think so. He's been pretty dominant and very consistent.
Also, I also don't feel like Maxie would just like, let's just pull a guy out of nowhere to roast him and be like, he isn't.
I like your logic and psychology of the questions.
Yeah, it's all about the question. It's like it's just like Robin's out here just minding his own business, catches a stray bullet. He wasn't out here like proclaiming like I'm the number one guy, and then we're like, no, you're not.
Hey, but chat is saying 60 to 40% right now. Chat is leaning towards it being BS. You and I say true. Maxie, what do we got?
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. So Maxie just savage like that.
Who is it? Who is it? Dang it. Geyer, I'm sorry, man. I should have went with you. I should have done it. Should have known. Lewis Geyer's 2,000 all-time receiving yards compared to 1666 from Robin Wilczek in 22 games. All right, there we go. So that's our truth or BS fun little segment there. We should have done a little bit better. So, guys, we have got a very special interview for you guys. So you hearing an echo?
Yeah, I think
Maxie, can we
deal?
Max, we got a little echo going on. We've got Brandon Noble, the Hamburg Sea Devils defensive coordinator. He is one of the most renowned DCs in the ELF. He is joining us on ELF Live. Coach Noble, thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the show.
Here we
How
go.
we doing, guys?
Doing all right, Coach. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I've got you. There's a little breakup, but my face looks ginormous in the screen right here, so it's a little terrifying. Hold on, I'm losing you.
Can you hear us?
Maxie, do something.
Maxie, fix.
Maxie.
Coach, can you hear us at all?
I got you now.
Okay, there we go. Okay, Coach. So for everybody who doesn't know your prolific backstory, you've had a experience in the NFL and then NFL Europe from 1997 to 2005 with the 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, I believe, and the Barcelona Dragons.
Yep.
And now you are back in Europe once again and going to be the defensive coordinator for the Hamburg Sea Devils this year. First of all, Coach, let me just ask, why did you want to join the ELF?
Well, kind of going to what you were just talking about. Like my experience in NFL Europe was amazing. I enjoyed being over here. I was 22, 23 years old. I'll turn 50 while I'm over here now. So a quarter of a century has passed. And I love the idea of developing the game over here. I really do. And being here in Germany, one of the things that I remember about playing in Barcelona was coming to Dusseldorf and coming to Frankfurt and those crowds, right? Like they were as good a crowd as you get, even at, some college football games over in the States. So it was really exciting. And again, I know Patrick Azume a little bit from NFL Europe and I followed the league as he developed it. And I was excited. Look, man, an opportunity to come coach professional football, be defensive coordinator and live in Europe for the summer. I mean, why not?
Absolutely, man. I mean, and it's a really exciting time to get back into football in Europe. Obviously, you had the stint back in the day with NFL Europe, but like football in Europe is really on the come up again, and you get to be part of helping to grow the game, just like you said. Can you talk to us a little bit about how it is in Hamburg and what are your expectations and the team's expectations this year? Obviously, Hamburg had a little bit of trouble last year. And what are your guys' expectations this year?
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, anytime you've got a new coaching staff, that kind of means that things went wrong, right? And so it's a reset, right? At the end of the day, like we're a brand new staff, and a brand new team. I mean, we really are a brand new team, right? And I'm excited about that. Like one of the things that I really like about what we're doing here is we've got guys that want to play in Hamburg, right? We've got guys that are hungry, that are young, right? And maybe not your big name guys, but we got a lot of guys that have really bought into what we're saying. I got here Tuesday. It's been a whirlwind. I've only been here for a couple of days, so I don't really know where I am right now. And I had I got to go to a workout. I've been, there's a camaraderie, right? There's a group of guys that are in this together right now that is really exciting. And I'm excited to work with them. I feel really good about the guys that we've signed. I feel good about the team. I feel good about the pieces that I have on defense to do some things with. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Like it's a challenge, right? Football's hard. Football's hard even when you're good. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Coach, how do you feel preparing to coach in an environment where you don't have all the things that you do at a Temple University or a college in the States, where you have just like the elite structure and the resources, the recovery, the gym, like all of that stuff? How do you feel about coaching in this environment?
Well, I played football back in the 1900s, and so I know that you can do it. You don't need all that stuff at the end of the day. The other thing, honestly, man, Silas, I think one of the things that made me very comfortable about coming over here is I've been coaching high school football for the last 6 years in the States, right? Like I got to coach both of the reason I got out of college coaching was to spend more time with my family. I got to coach both of my sons all the way through high school. It was a tremendous experience for me, but like I'm coming from riding a yellow school bus to a game on Friday.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so,
yeah.
I'm cool with what we're doing here. I really am. And I spent last spring in the USFL, and there were some hiccups there. So I get it, right? This is a young league. They've done a great job of moving forward every year, right? Getting a little bit better every year, and that's incredibly important. And we have to continue to do that as an organization, right? We have to do that. The experience has to get a little bit better for fans, for coaches, for players. But I know what I'm getting into here, right? I've coached Division II football. I coached in the old UFL. I coached FCS football, Division I football, high school football, and in the USFL, right? So like I've seen every level of this thing. And at the end of the day, you need 11 guys out there willing to run into other people. And if I can get 11 guys to do that, we'll be just fine.
Yeah. Coach, I guess kind of just building off that, maybe a stupid question, but you just said like you've coached at so many different levels, high school, Division II, FCS, Division I, and now in the ELF. Is there any change in your approach when you're coaching at a different level? Do you approach it in any way differently when you're with high school kids to now when you're with ELF people, when you got a huge range of maybe 20-year-olds to 35-year-olds on your team?
Yeah, that's a good question. And really it shouldn't, right? Coaching is teaching, and you should teach the same all the time. And I think what changes is how fast you can move through the class, right? For lack of a better term. Again, I've been teaching 15, 16, 17-year-olds how to do this, right? I've taught, look, last year, like I said, I spent the spring in the USFL working with professionals again. Completely different animal, right? But you've got to just work through the teaching progression. And when it slows down, you have to slow down, right? And when you can speed up, you have to speed up. So we'll take it as it goes. But at the end of the day, we have to be teachers on the staff, right? We have to teach football right now.
Yeah. That's interesting, Coach. I wonder, you talk about teaching the same now. I'm assuming you've had different defenses that you've coached throughout the years. I'm wondering, are you bringing in your high school defense? Are you bringing in a college defense? What are you thinking right now?
So what I have, Silas, is a mixture of things that I've picked up over the last few years and guys that I've worked with, right? I think one of the fun things of football is, especially where football is now, is it's almost becoming positionless in an extent. Like there's just like this on offense and defense, right? You've got it's all about matchups. It's about having good athletes on the field. It's about space, right? The offense wants the space. The defense wants to constrict the space. So at the end of the day, like I definitely have a system that I kind of developed or put together over the last 6-7 years as a coordinator at Downingtown High School in Pennsylvania. That system came from Phil Snow, who I worked for at Temple University, right? My time at Coastal Carolina, right? I'm doing some things that I did with Greg Williams, who was my DC in Washington, right? So it's just piecing it all together and taking things that I like, that I think work, and putting them together. And at the end of the day, right, like it's about, like, I don't care if we line up and play over cover 2 the entire game, right? You can do that as long as you run real fast and tackle the guy with the ball. So it doesn't have to be super crazy, but it should be fun. Like, look, defensive guys like to be aggressive. I want to be aggressive, right? I do want to be cautiously aggressive, if that's the right way to think it, right? What do we do well? And then how can we put our guys in the best position possible within our system to do that on Saturdays and Sundays, right? So again, great question. it's really a little bit of everything right now. You know what I mean? It really is. And I'm excited, to be completely honest with you, to do it at this level, right? You know, this is a challenge for me and kind of what I believe in and what I do defensively, to see if it works at this level.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm super curious as well to kind of get this whole combination of all of your defensive schemes and everything you've done and see how it fits here in ELF in European football, which will be really interesting. Coach, you're working with Matt Johnson, head coach of the Sea Devils, one of the younger coaches in the league, I believe. Can you talk a little bit about how it's been working with him? I know you just got there to Hamburg, but how has that been with him working together? And the second part of that question, was he the one who recruited you to come coach in Hamburg?
Yeah. All right. So it's been great working with Matt. It's been a unique experience in kind of how we met, how we were introduced, and how this happened. Yeah. I definitely have the most gray hair on the staff. There's no doubt about it. You can see that I got a lot. It's a lot of big bushy beard, right? And if my hair were down, there's a lot of gray there too. I'm the oldest guy on the staff, probably by 10 years, maybe, you know, and that's great. Matt's put a great, young, excited staff together, which I'm enjoying. I knew Yogi Jones and Patrick Azume from NFL Europe.
Okay.
I started following the league when Coach Jones got hired here a couple of years ago. He and I were talking about me possibly coming over to coach for the Sea Devils, to be the defensive line coach. And at the time, it didn't work for my family, right? My youngest son was a junior in high school. My wife was like, just wait till he graduates, and then you can go. And so he graduated. Coach Jones got let go at the end of the year. So I kind of thought maybe my dream of coming, and look, it was like, this is what I wanted to do this offseason. Like, my dream of coming over here and coaching in the ELF, my contact was gone, right? Mm-hmm. So what do? Right? Well, you know, Coach Jones and Patrick Azume connected me with Matt. They all have a relationship. And Matt and I talked a little bit, and I talked to, you know, Miguel and the guys here in the organization, and we thought it was a good fit. You know, I was excited to come over, and look, I think, again, I've been on old staffs where I'm the youngest guy. That's not a lot of fun, man. We get crankier as we get older, right? The longer that you do this, the crotchetier you get. And so I am super excited to have a young group of guys that are really excited about this thing that I'm working with. And so it's going to be fun. There's a good energy. You know, I think that I have been impressed with how Matt has handled this. This has not been an easy offseason.
Right.
You know, like, I came on board in November, and, you know, putting this team together has been a challenge, right? For all the things, like, I've listened to this show a few times, right? And I've heard kind of what Silas has said, and there's some truth to some of it. You know what I mean? Like, this has been a challenge, but like, what we've done and what we've put together, I'm super excited about. And I love the fact that we're flying under the radar, and don't think we don't have a big ass chip on our shoulders because of it, right? You know what I mean? But I think Matt's done a great job of building this team and letting them know the expectations, and then holding to that standard.
Coach, I know it's kind of hard to put like a number on what a win number will be for expectations or something. Can I ask you, what would it take for 2024 to be considered a success for the Hamburg Sea Devils, for what you guys are doing right now and building kind of in this new chapter? What does have to happen by the end of 2024 for you guys to be like, that was successful?
Man, that's a good one. It is. So, I mean, obviously, look, right, you come here to win, right? Like, that, at the end of the day, that's what we're judged by, wins and losses. And, you know, I'm judged by how the defense plays. So, you know, those are things that I think if we see improvement, right? If you see improvement from a record perspective, and more than a 1-win improvement, right? Like a substantial improvement. Like, look, I want to. My goal is always 10 games, right? Like, if you can win 10 games at any level of football, that's a great season. So that's the goal, right? I mean, I don't. And is it Does that seem realistic to people outside of here? Probably not, right? But like, look, man, like in a league like this where you've got tremendous turnover every year, because of the way the contracts are situated and the way that things move, like there's no reason you can't. So I think the goal is like every other team right now, right? Is to win the championship. I mean, that is like, that's, we all know, we've all played. That's why you do it, right? Realistically, improvement, right? Do they play hard all the time? Do they finish games, right? Do we finish the season? Do we play great on defense? Do we tackle well? And then do we win more games than we won last year?
Yeah.
So that to me is where it is. I mean, it's so hard. I'm a firm believer in you just got to get a little bit better every day, right?
Yeah.
And that's football, right? And that's life. But at the end of the day, it's football. And so if we can just go out and just get better a little bit every day, that should go a long way with a young group that's hungry. I don't know what it's going to look like at first. I get to go on the field with these cats on Saturday for the first time, right? So like I'm super excited about that. But we don't know what it's going to look like. So again, do we play hard? Do we win more games than we did last year? Do we finish the season? Like those are things that are huge.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great answer to a really difficult question. And I kind of compared a little bit to the Stuttgart Surge situation last year. I asked their head coach, Jordan Newman, kind of a similar question last year when they were facing sort of a rebuild and they were a new coaching staff coming in. And he had a similar answer that you had just now. But the thing that you touched on that's so true is especially in the ELF, you can turn things around in one season. You can go from being at the bottom of the league to at the top of the league in one season. So I think that's very true and a great point that you just made there. Silas, do we have any questions from the chat here?
Yeah, I do have a question, Coach. We've met before.
We have. I was wondering if you knew that. Yeah.
Where was that?
I met you at the Dream Bowl in Virginia.
Wow.
I was the keynote speaker and you were like the superstar player on the whole thing. And you and I met there and played the game. I think it was brutally cold. It was not very nice in Virginia.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm originally from Virginia Beach, so they brought me in to try and drum up ticket sales. But I don't think it worked very well.
It was a Division II, Division III All-Star game. You're not going to get any sales there. But I'll tell you what, man. This is a crazy, just full circle. It was at the Dream Bowl that I met this random kid. I think he was a player. I don't even remember his name, but he gave me a card that said europlayers.com, and he was the key that got me to Europe.
Yep.
Wow.
And that was the same time that I met you. It's crazy full circle.
Yep.
And when I saw you, you didn't have the beard and
no. I was trying to get into broadcasting at the time, and you can see I got a face for radio, boys. So like
us too.
This is podcasting, right? So
I love it. So I'm excited for you to get out to Germany and coach and hearing just your background, all the things that you coaching high school, being in Europe, doing all those things. You're going to do a great job out there. I'm always hesitant when coaches who've only ever coached it or coming from like NFL D1 programs and they go to Europe and then their expectations are so high and they just bomb. And so I think you have the right mindset. You're going to do a great job out there. And we're thankful to have you today.
I appreciate it, guys. This has been fun. I was hoping I was going to get an invite. I've watched a couple of these, especially to get a little motivation because I know Silas has been pretty down on the Devils. So
you raised the stock for me.
I appreciate that.
Stock's going up. Hey, he's providing bulletin board material for you guys. He's rooting for you, truly.
Use it all. Keep it coming.
All right. Coach, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Great talking to you and good luck to you guys this year.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Sir. All right. He is awesome, man.
Yeah, dude. Also, that's just like crazy story, bro. Like when he first came on, I was like, Brandon Noble, I know that name. And I recognize his face a little bit. But because he's got a lot longer hair, got this huge beard, I didn't recognize him at first.
Yeah.
But then as he started getting to talking, I was thinking about it, and I was like, we've met. And so I think that's just awesome that he's gonna be there. And I like his mindset. I think he'll do a great job coaching over there.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I mean, he really brings the right attitude. And I think he's perfect for what Hamburg is right now. And he'll bring great energy. He seems like great energy. And as a defensive guy, he's the type of guy you want to play for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we have to run to a quick little commercial break. And then we've got one more very special interview for you guys. See you after the break.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí, de la ciudad.
Ah, mira.
Am I saying that right, Andrea?
Adria.
Oh, he's right back in there. We're already here. All right, Adria.
Oh, there we go.
Welcome to the show, Adria.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you get people asking you if it's Adrian or Adrian without like
that's like the story of my life. I spent 6
God.
years in the U.S. and no one could pronounce my name right. So
Everyone kept saying, Adrian? You mean Adrian?
yeah, that's basically
That'd
it.
be the most frustrating thing when you tell someone your name and they're like, don't you mean, and they give you a different name.
Exactly. It's like I don't know my own name, you know?
Yeah. That is funny. Well, welcome to the show, man. You're a heck of a player, and heard a lot about you. Unfortunately haven't got to meet you in person, but I'm happy to meet you today.
Yeah, same here.
Sam here, brother. Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Obviously, you've had a lot of success in the ELF so far. You've been an all-star every single year, 3-time ELF all-star. I think one of only a couple players to have achieved that. And you've got a really interesting journey in the ELF, man, because you have played for a different franchise each year. So just for the audience, let me run through it. You played for the Sea Devils in 2021, the Vienna Vikings in 2022, the Paris Musketeers in 2023, and this year you're headed east to the Wrocław Panthers in Poland. Got a bunch of questions for you. I think the first one I'd like to ask is, after 2022, when you guys won the ELF championship in Vienna, why did you want to leave the franchise? Did it not feel like a place that you wanted to stay and continue to build, especially after winning this championship on this first year?
Well, that was about the time where they changed the regulations for imports, right?
Yeah.
So like I had to sit down with the franchise and we kind of came to a mutual agreement where, well, it was not the best option for the franchise to keep like a European tight end.
Right.
I mean, they had Big Bomber there. So, I mean, they were served on with the homegrown. So it came down to what was best for me, what was best for the franchise, and I had this amazing opportunity coming to Paris, and I took it.
Yeah. Silas, go ahead if you had some.
No, it's very simple and makes sense, and Vienna, that the chances of having two tight ends of y'all's caliber is so it's just so slim in Europe, and that's a very interesting situation. But I mean, you obviously got to go play for another really cool organization, and now you're just a world traveler. You're getting to go to play in all these different countries. Has that been talk to us a little bit about how cool it is to play in different countries?
It's amazing, man. Like I gotta say, it was never my plan. I had a bunch of people always asking me, it's like, oh, are you just trying to play somewhere else every single year? And that was never the thing. I was actually looking for some stability, but kind of life pushed me into that direction. It's like any other job or just life in general, like sometimes opportunities come your way and you have to bet on yourself. And I would say like it's been pretty good so far on my end, but I would say, you know, like the best thing about this ELF thing for me has been like the possibility of just living all over Europe, being part of these amazing organizations, like the people I met. I mean, I would say that's something that I couldn't have achieved in any other way. You know, like it's not in a regular job, you cannot just move to some crazy location every 6 months. You know, so it's been a very interesting and very rewarding experience.
Hey, man, we'll talk about the Panthers and the future in a second, but I want to go back again to the past, to last year where you were part of the Paris Musketeers. This is obviously a first-year franchise. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that was to be a part of a team that was building something from scratch? What was that experience like?
It was tough, man. Like there was a lot of ups and downs. You know, like there was a lot of good things, there was a lot of bad things. I would say that in my experience, like the franchise did a really, really good job as an organization to like kickstart something like that. But yeah, like obviously the season ended up 6-6. It was not the result we wanted. It got frustrating at times, especially at the beginning when we like rack up a few losses in a row. But looking at it with a bit of perspective, I still look at last year as something very, very positive. And I feel that built the foundation of what the Musketeers are going to be this year, which seems to be a very, very competitive team.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, and you guys really came out with probably one of the more difficult schedules in the ELF last year. I think you played Frankfurt, you played the Surge, you played the Rhine Fire, and for a first-year organization to have to come out against these teams is tough. But I was pretty impressed with you guys by the end of the season, for sure, man. And then moving to this year, to the Panthers, why was this the right place for you to go play in 2024? How did this connection happen?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest, you know, like my intentions were to stay in Paris, you know, like if you ask me like September 2023, the season's just over, like I was thinking I was going to stay, you know, but Panthers reached out to me, talked to Coach C, talked to Coach Landa or OC, and we started getting into those conversations, and it just like the mentality, what they were trying to build, everything felt like the right fit. You know, and what I was saying before, right? Sometimes you have to make decisions or take bets. I feel like for me, coming to the Panthers was betting on myself and betting on an organization that's trying to accomplish something that they haven't done before. And I feel we're on the right path to do that.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm wondering, did Paris try to keep you?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Nice. Short and sweet. Of course they did. There we go. Of course they did.
Have you been to? Okay. How do you? First off, let's start with this. How do you pronounce the city that you're moving to?
I heard it in so many different ways. So like in English, I heard Wroclaw. Like Germans call it Breslav.
Breslav.
I think.
What?
No, like it's.
This is the most like this is to me has been the biggest controversy of the entire season so far, or preseason, is how the heck do you pronounce the name of the team from the East? So because every single time Nick introduces your team, I'm like, are you even sure it's right?
He's just saying it different every single time too, man.
Roslaw, Coleslaw, Planters.
Wroclaw. I mean, I need to work on that. That's that's not.
You probably should figure that out. Are you there yet? Have you been there yet?
No, I'm actually in Vienna. Funny enough, like I moved my whole personal life to Vienna in the 2022 season. So I live in Vienna, playing Wroclaw, playing Paris, but in the office, I'm in Vienna.
Okay.
So, hey, what what's sort of the vibe and the energy with the Panthers this year? I mean, you guys have had kind of a crazy offseason with the roster that you guys are putting together. You obviously a huge piece of that. Can you talk to me a little bit about the Panthers' expectations? Like, legitimately, do you guys think that you guys will contend for a championship this year?
I mean, that's the plan. I mean, that's probably the easiest question you asked me all night, you know. I mean, I remember one of the first calls I had with Coach C is like they had a good season last year. They made it to playoff, but it was not good enough, right? Like they saw their weaknesses, they saw what they did wrong last year, and they want to jump the gun on that and make sure they got the right guys for every single position that they needed. And I mean, I remember he told me literally, like, I'm trying to build like an all-star team. Like I'm trying to get like the best players at every single position that we need. And I think they delivered like a pretty good list of players so far. The goal is clear. Like the Panthers have something to prove. I mean, they lost in the playoffs against Hamburg like the first year. They lost last year too. But it's always been a contender. It's one of the initial franchises, and they're eager to get their hands on that trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have you've got two great running backs, Matt Cole, the receiver, the A receiver, who is a lot of NFL experience, and then your quarterback, Steven Duncan, who I got to see him play live in person last year and was wildly impressed with him. And last week, a couple of our guests had him on the list of top quarterbacks to watch out for in the ELF in 2024. Have you had a chance to connect with Duncan yet? And how has that been? And how have you guys started to develop this relationship?
Yeah, we've been able to talk, you know, chat over IG and all that stuff, and kind of just sharing like our vision for the season. But I'm excited to play with him. Like he did some serious damage in the GFL last year, and I feel like it's going to be more of the same this year, especially because I think like he has even more weapons than he had last year in GFL. So I'm kind of excited to get to camp and get to work on that connection and get it rolling.
Absolutely, man. I mean, he's legit, and I think you guys will have a great connection. The chat is talking a little bit. Athletes Forum, Jamal says there's a team in the Alps that needs a tight end. Just saying. So is there any possibility if you win a championship in Poland that you'll head south for a nice, beautiful season in Silas's old stomping ground?
Is that what he was referring to? Because
that's what he's referring to.
There's like the Alps extend to like 4 different countries, right? So like that could be Italy, that could be Austria, it could be Switzerland, Germany. Jamal, what are you talking about here?
He's always pushing the guards. He's always pushing for the guards.
Someone else said, remember me, I recruited you to the Kempton Comets. Do you know Axel Eder?
Yes, I do.
Axel Eder.
So what ended up happening? Did you not go to the Comets?
Yeah, that was my actual first season in Europe after college. Like I played one season.
What year was that?
2019.
Okay.
We all played each other, man. I think we all played each other.
I didn't. I was in Italy playing in with the Guelfi. Did you play him?
Yeah, we must have played. If you were playing Algoy in 2019, then we played each other for sure, man. I probably missed a couple tackles on you. Maxie, don't pull up the tape. Don't pull it up.
Just start pulling up more tape of now fails.
Just me missing tackles. Hey, what is there a game on? I know every single game, you know, hey, we're trying to win week by week. Is there a specific game or team that you've really got your eyes on that you're excited to play this year in 2024?
Okay, well, first of all, I would say like the first game of the season against Berlin. I think that's going to be a very special one. You know, we play like in the big stadium, like in the big Tarzinski Stadium on June 26th, and I mean we're working hard to like get everybody to that stadium. You know, like it's not too far from Germany, it's not too far from like other cities in Poland, so we're really trying to pack that thing because I feel it's a really good game to start the season, right? Like Berlin has a good, solid like roster like every single year, and that's going to be a true test for us. So that's obviously the first game of the season is always special, and obviously playing against like my former team, it's always special too, right? I mean, for me, playing in Vienna is going to be a home game. You know, I live here, my girl's here, like I established my life here, so like it's going to be like something I'm looking forward to.
Is there any, I don't want to say bad blood, but extra motivation in playing Vienna? Like, obviously, hey, you know, they had their homegrown tight ends, and they let you go. Is there any extra like motivation and juice for the Vienna game?
Of course. I mean, you know, I'm a competitor. I want to prove that, you know, the bad decision letting me go, but you know.
There we go. That's what we like to hear. A real competitor, a real, you know, hey man, that brings me to my next point. How would you describe your game? How you play the game of football? What do you think are your biggest strengths as a tight end? What you bring to the field?
Versatility. Like, I consider myself like a receiving. You know, like some people say out there that I don't like to block and all that stuff. I just feel like I'm more like a, you know, receiving threat. Like I feel like really, really good at running routes, and I'm really good at reading defenses. And I feel that's one of my biggest strengths, but also can play different positions. You know, like some teams use me like as an X receiver. Some other teams, I mean, in Vienna, they use me as a running back a couple times. You know, and I feel like one of my biggest strengths is you can just move me around and I can make a direct impact on wherever you put me. So,
is there anyone on your? Sorry, Nick.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, my bad.
Is there anyone on your team that you're really, really looking forward to playing with?
AJ Wendland. You know, like in 2020. That was COVID season, right? Like GFL and everything got canceled. That's the year I signed with Dresden, and we were supposed to be teammates, right? And I mean, he is probably the best linebacker that has played in Europe in the last 10 years, right? So like the chance of playing with him and practicing with him, like, you know, iron sharpens iron, right? Like if I'm able to go against him every single practice, like I should show up to game day and should be way easier than practice. So I'm looking forward to play with him. Like also Keanu Ebanks, he's one of my closest friends. So like being able to play with him one more year, that's always exciting. So I'm excited about this year. I think it's going to be a special one.
I love it, man.
Oh yeah, AJ, absolute baller. And like we talked about earlier, one of only 3 American linebackers in the league. So like very improved for him to continue to one of the top level linebackers in the league year in, year out. I don't know if you can answer this yet because you haven't been out there to Poland yet, but we're hearing so many good things just about the infrastructure, the organization of the Panthers, kind of the behind the scenes and how things are run out there. Do you know much about that yet? And can you talk a little bit about the Panthers just as an organization? Have you had any experience with that?
Actually, I was there for like a weekend and kind of just to visit the city, to see if that's where I want to be and kind of just meet everybody in person. And yes to everything. You know, like it's the most professional organization I've seen since I've been in the US. The way they run things, like the facilities, the game prep, like what they provide to their players, everything is top notch. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing to have something like that in Europe.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I just keep everyone that's had any interaction with the Panthers. I remember I spoke with AJ about after he left Leipzig, and had his first few weeks there, and was just wildly impressed with the way that everything is run there. And you guys have got a great stadium, and like you said, you got the season opener against Berlin in the big stadium, which will be a great way to start the season for you guys. Silas, you got anything else?
No, man. I'm when they signed you, that was the first time I really thought of, man, there is actually something happening with the Panthers. I think the Panthers are my new sleeping giant. I think we had a sleeper pick. I don't remember what my sleeper pick was, but my new sleeper pick is the Panthers.
I like that, man. I'm with you.
They're going to come out of nowhere, kind of like the sleeping giant in the East there. So, in this conversation, kind of reinforced that.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, honestly, I like that people kind of underestimate us. I like to be in an underdog position, you know, and like obviously we have a good group of imports, but like they sleep on the homegrown talent. Like those Polish guys can play and they're tough as nails. So I'm excited to kind of just get the season started so the world can see what the Panthers are all about.
I love it, man.
Awesome, man.
Thanks for coming. Show, we really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Stuck on a delay here.
Go ahead, Nick. You've interrupted me like 5 times.
I think he's gone.
He's just gone. Sorry, Adria. We're gonna have a great time, man. We'll catch you in Coleslaw, Poland.
Hey, Silas. I'm quite delayed right now. Not sure if you can hear me.
Okay, that's probably why I feel like you keep interrupting me.
Sorry, guys. Not sure if you can hear me. I'm having a little bit of internet connectivity issues. Silas, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Now you're clear. Nice. Hey, awesome guy. Awesome guy.
Yeah. I like both those guys. There's both good interviews today. And but I think that I mean my sleeper pick for 2024 is the Panthers. I'm calling it right now. And my stock went up with Hamburg. So hey, I didn't really roast anybody this time around.
What are you doing, man? What is this show if not for you? You're supposed to be roasting teams each week. Let's see. You got an assignment. You got 7 days to prepare your roast for a team for next week. Fun. I don't know. Maxie just sent us a little message on here and said that I think he's talking about Coach Noble, that he actually coached my brother in the USFL last year. That's funny. Damn, I wish I knew that. Should have known that. I could have talked to him about that when we had him. Small world the football world is, man.
Maybe you should start being a little smarter.
Well, hey, I didn't go to Cornell like you and Andy Bernard, okay, man?
You went to Georgetown, which is a politician school, which it totally makes sense. You're the most politician person I know. Now for president, 2024.
Now for president. That's a great way to end the show.
At this point, anybody for 2024 president other than what we've got going on right now in the United States.
Bring in now. There we go. Hey, man, Silas, love doing the show with you, brother. It's so fun. I really like it.
It is. And I'm excited. We will 72 days till kickoff. Is that what it is?
72 days till 2024 season for the 4th year of the European League of Football. Look how far this has come since we play, man. This is pretty awesome.
I love it, man. I love it. For all the people in the chat, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show and supporting football in Europe.
Absolutely, guys. All right, we will see you next week. We'll be a week closer to kickoff in the ELF 2024. All right, guys, have a great night or day wherever you are. Thanks for watching.
Peace.